Alicia.
Thank you.
Woo!
We're going to do our money flow, money clearing today. So can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, awesome. Sometimes I wonder if the music's too loud. So I am going to do 2 programs, and Leilani's going to do 2 programs. We're going to help you clear them, and then we're going to give you some positive fill-ups. So the money clearing the words for me, or the sentence is, how am I supposed to do that? And that's news to me. We want to clear out anything that is negative or that's holding you back. So that's news to me would be something that like a balloon popper would say. So we want to make sure we clear that out. And how am I supposed to do that kind of reflects someone who might be confused about where they're going to get some money to do something for themselves. So what did you pick today, Leilani?
I actually I chose that's way too much, because typically even when people are wanting something, they're like, oh, that's way too much out of my budget, right? And so we're clearing that's way too much, and that's not enough, right? The ominous, when you would hear you're digging through your stuff, you're like, that's not enough money to cover it. So yeah, I want to clear those out.
Oh, that's so true. I just got a vision of like in my mind of like maybe one day you're at the cash register and you don't have enough money in your wallet and you're so embarrassed and people they're like behind you. That's right. Yeah. Wow, that's a really good one.
Yeah, thank you. I think yours are great too. I
Oh,
think it's very powerful. We're excited.
yes, this is an exciting time. So we're here to help you clear so that you have a clearer path to your wealth. So because everyone deserves to have amazing abundance, because abundance is everywhere. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be muscle testing everyone who's here right now and anyone who may be watching this in the future. And we're going to clear according to that. We have an awesome, I'm going to do a blanket clearing and then I'll go into the details right after. So I'm going to let you start since you're my guest and
Well,
you can begin and I'll breathe with you. Okay.
okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess then we'll go ahead and we'll test. How did you say that? The way you said it sounded so great. Everyone here and everyone watching in the future, to make sure it clears. So go ahead and take a breath. I release all positive and negative emotional blocks with that's way too much. Good. And then we'll do the second one. Go ahead and take a breath. I release all positive and negative emotional blocks with that's not enough. Good job.
Did that clear for everybody?
Feels like it did to me.
Awesome, fantastic. So let's do mine. Okay, so take a deep breath in and hold.
Okay.
I release all positive and negative blocks and emotions with how am I supposed to do that? Breathe out. I'm still testing week. Okay, so take a deep breath in and hold. I release all annoyance, anxiety, confusion, disbelief, disappointment, fear, and frustration with how am I supposed to do that? Breathe out. Okay, we've got a little bit more. Take a deep breath in and hold.
I'm just going to throw this out there, Alicia. Let me just hold this a little bit longer. Don't ask me to exhale quite so soon.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. Take a deep breath in and hold. I release all hopelessness, all humiliation, all judgment, pressure, and stress with how am I supposed to do that? Breathe out. Good. Yay. How am I supposed to do that? So let's do some positives. So take a deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with calm, peace, clarity, conviction, delight, love, and serenity with how am I supposed to do that? Awesome. Right. Nice and strong. Yay.
Yay. Good job.
Yeah, everybody, good job. All right, so the next one is that's news to me. Take a deep breath in and hold. I release all positive and negative blocks and emotions with that's news to me. Breathe out. Now that one feels strong. Okay, so now we're going to do some positive fill-ups. I will defer to my beautiful guest. Would you like to start with the positive?
I would. Thank you for inviting me to do so. The positive fill-up I have for you guys is money flows to me with ease and simplicity. So I changed it up. It felt like it needed to be changed. So go ahead and take a breath in. I I'm so happy, grateful, thankful that money flows to me with ease and simplicity. Very nice. Good job.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, that's awesome. I've got a couple, so let's take a deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful that abundance is always mine. Breathe out. Yep, feels good. Take a deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful that I always know how to make money. Breathe out.
That's an exciting one.
Yeah, because it's endless, right? It could come from anywhere. And that's just the truth. I think that, we can always like I love the one exercise that I have from Esther Hicks where she talks about doing a paper like a placemat, and she says have one side where God or the universe takes care of it, which is the hard stuff, like where it's going to come from, and then you do what's good for you, like walk the dog, water the garden, wash the dishes, fold the clothes, paint, whatever it is that you can do without any resistance is exactly what you're supposed to do to get that column filled out on its own, because it will happen on its own as long as you are not offering any resistance.
Agreed. I think that that's such a powerful thing, and I'm so glad you shared it that way, because so often we're busy trying to figure out how to make it all happen, and we get so stuck in the fight rather than stepping back and fully allowing and trusting. It's kind of like when you open the dam to allow the river to flow, you don't stand in the middle and try to direct the river. You literally just move. You just get out of the way.
Exactly. I think that's the truth. I mean, I love hearing your stories about your trips with no money across the United States and how you just found it out of thin
Yeah.
air.
Yeah. Thank you. I actually was working with a client a little earlier today, and that those stories were shared with her, or some of them were shared, just because it's such an energetic thing that people don't fully grasp. They all try to solve the problem here in the mind, rather than shifting the body to be at the proper vibration to allow it to happen. And that really, oftentimes you have to talk your body down off the ledge of like panic and worry, and just like Esther was saying, take the animal for a walk, or go and paint something, or do whatever fuels your soul, and allowing it to happen. And yeah, I actually shared with her the story earlier today where we I guess I'll share this one now. we were yeah, actually in Indiana. Um, and for those of you guys who are new to me on this, Alicia and I have been working together, and we're super excited about what we've created. But um, we were in Indiana, and we were literally so low on funds, and we just didn't know where it was going to come from. And we had a child of ours who still needed to wear nighttime pants, is what we called them, but basically they were diapers. He still was having accidents at night, but we were totally out of funds. Like, I don't know if I told you this story. Have I told you this one?
I don't remember this one. I remember the wood.
Okay. Oh, well, I can tell the wood story. Would you prefer
No, no, no,
that?
no, no, I want to hear this. I want to hear it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
both of them. I don't care.
well, we were just completely out of funds, and we were like, I don't know what we're going to do, but we had to have those, right? And the first inclination is the body begins to panic, and you kind of feel like you're pulling forward and you're trying to solve this problem, like, oh my gosh, what can I do? And then you start running like all the negative stuff, like, I can't do it, I can't afford it, we're not going to be able to buy it, what are we going to do, blah, 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 right? And all this like garbage starts to dump through our bodies. And I literally was like, the problem just has to be solved. Like, it just has to. And we literally had to like make ourselves sit back in the seat and relax, like stop the tension in the body.
Was it more like you did that and told everybody to stop doing that and do follow me?
Okay, you might be right. That might have been more what I however, that's still right. It's like you got to diffuse. You can't be up in your head and create. You got to drop down into the body. So I had to literally like lean back and be like, there's going to be a way. There's going to be a way. And my husband, we drove over to Kroger's, and he went inside with the debit card that I was like, it's empty. It's empty. There's nothing in there, you know. And he comes walking out of Kroger's with a bag, and it's got diapers in it, and he's just like, it ran just like no big deal, because his attitude had gone from what am I going to do to it has to happen. It has to happen. I have to completely believe, right? And then taking the action of faith to go in, right? And to do it. And even like diffusing yourselves. And we had diapers. And I know if anybody's like, did you have an overdraft? And I'm not telling anybody go and, try to run credit cards or anything if you don't have money on it. It's just recognizing that there are some things that you've got to do that you can do here, right? You go ahead and you put out there God, angels, deity, source, divine, however you identify, universe, this is what I need. And then you take the action that you feel nudged or encouraged to do. For us, it was drive your booties over to Kroger and go in and buy some. And we were like, okay, whew, right?
I love that so much.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. And I have to say, I was just like, wow, I'm incredibly grateful for it. I guess I have quite a few stories, Alicia, like where I've just
I know I could sit here all night. Believe me, I'm like, okay, here we go. Let me get a sip of water. Go.
Right.
Right. I think I love that. We've been studying like the masculine and the feminine, and going to that store was a masculine action. That belief that you had the money or the money would be there is the feminine, and the action is the masculine or the positive. And like the other day bought tickets to go on vacation, and we had the money in the bank, but I like to see the money there that's allocated in my budget, but it didn't, but that's okay. And as soon as I bought them, the money started coming in, and it's done now. Like magic. Just
that's beautiful.
I love it. I love it. And that's just the thing is I think you do need to have that faith where that it's going to be there no matter what. But I think it's the intention though, because you have to say to yourself, like you say, like this, is the sun going to rise tomorrow, Leilani?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be there. And it is all the time.
I think that question, don't you think that question kind of throws people off a little bit when you ask them? It's similar to like if somebody asks you if the sun's going to rise tomorrow morning, they're like, is this a trick question? Like, of course it is. Right. But it's having that same level of surety in the body and in the heart and soul, right? Is what energetically shifts you to be able to allow and align with the blessing that you're asking for.
Exactly. And that's exactly right. And I love that. But there's that faith, that leap of faith that you have to just go and do. And it's really cool to do it, because once you're doing it, then you're like, okay, if I did this much, how about if I do this much? And then you start going, what if it's this much? And then you're like, what if it's this much? It's so much fun to see how it responds to you as long as you are in that vibration. That's the key.
Oh yeah. And that it doesn't have to come from a specific source. Like
Right.
You can have it come in from places completely unexpected. You'll be like, oh my gosh, like who knew?
Yeah, I think there was I think it was it Your Wish is Your Command. What's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm not remembering. Is it Trudeau? Kevin Trudeau?
Is it Kevin Trudeau? I'm not.
Yeah. He talked about how there was a person who wanted a car. He said, I have this beautiful Mercedes, blah, 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 blah. And he found a briefcase, didn't open it, found the number connected to the briefcase. He gave it back to the guy, and the guy refused to take it back from him without giving him a reward. And so he gave him $50,000, and he put his down payment on a car, got the brand new car, had less payments and smaller payments than his original car, traded in his car, and he had his dream car. just
Wow.
from walking down the street. So he was doing what he could do, which was just going about his day. And the circumstance fell into his space. And this is a true story. And that's the kind of thing that I love. Like, I think God is waiting to give us our blessings, and we just sometimes aren't intentional about receiving them.
I agree. And if I can actually add on that, just talking about a car reminds me of another story. As you know, I have like a dozen stories.
I love it.
Probably. So years and years ago, my husband and we needed another car, right? And he was like, we just need like a little beater car. And I was like, I do not want a beater car for $500, right? We had like a $500 budget. And this was way back. And I think we had 6 kids at the time. That's how I measure my time frame, right?
Yeah, tell us how many kids you have, Leilani.
Yeah, so I have 9.
And people think I'm crazy with 7. Okay.
But I think so. But we needed another car so that we'd have 2 cars. And he was like, we just need a beater car. And it only needs, and I was like, I do not want a beater car. Like, I just, ugh, the idea of it. I was like, even just being parked in the driveway, I was like, ick. Like the vibe was so low, you know what I mean? And I was like, no, I need something nice. I need something nice out front. But we had, and I wish that we would have understood this to the level that I understand it now, although that was definitely a building block. And I'm glad I had it to give it to somebody else. But had we been open to just receive the fullness of our desire rather than trying to put parameters around it of what it should look like, right? Because it had to be around $500. So we did get something that came in for around $500. And the way that it worked was I ended up having a client come to my house and wanting to do some energy work. And he says, I'm going back to Peru. I want to give you my car. Now, it was a Lexus. He gave me a gold Lexus. Yeah. I was like,
were you all like fighting for the car? No, that's
but let me hang on. There was a catch. There was something wrong with the differential and the bearings in the back.
and
Guess how much it cost? Guess how much it cost to repair it?
$500. I love you.
Right? And I have to say, every time I would look out there and this beautiful gold Lexus was in my driveway, I was like, oh, it's okay, because I just couldn't do the beater car. But I think if I would have let it be bigger,
Yeah, you could have got a Rolls Royce.
Who knows? Or maybe it wouldn't have had, maybe he would have said, let me fix the differential. You see, but we were insistent that we spent $500 on this. Wow. So it fell right in that window.
So you put a parameter on it that didn't need to even be there.
Exactly. Exactly.
And how often do we do that? By just saying, like, you know, it's funny because I would always walk through Costco and I would hear God say, you can have anything in this store you want. And I'm like, no, I can't just grab everything and just, no. And so God was like, okay.
Then you're right.
You're right.
Whatever you think, you're right. Okay.
So I did not do that today. Today I was like, okay, I could have that. I could have that. And yeah, I'll have to rent a truck. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. To haul it all home. It's really funny. That reminds me of, you know, what Henry Ford says. I put it on the back of my boys. I was a football team mom this last year, and on the back of their sweatshirts as a player gift, I had the quote, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
I love it.
Right. And then I think like a winner, right? I ended it and think like a winner. So think the opportunity into your space. Think I can, like, what am I trying to say? You know what I'm
No, I understand what you're saying. Now, did you have a better season did the kids have a better season than they thought they would?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should have gone to championships. So this is a funny thing, because when we ended up on this team, my boys typically do pretty good. I mean, I've been teaching them these principles since they were, you know, just little tiny little tykes. And this is my 5th son. And so I've been through football, you know, little league for years. Like I've been in the program now for probably about 17 years. Wow. You know, and the coach was pretty new, and he was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter how the game goes as long as we, you know, the kids have fun. And I was like, excuse me, think fun about losing. I was like, how about we change our attitude and want to win? It would be amazing to go to championships. And I said, I don't know about you, but I'm used to going to championships. I want to go to championships.
I love it.
And he's just looking at me like, this lady's crazy, because they hadn't even made it to playoffs. Well, I mean, you can only control so much, right? So I put my son, my older son, on the team as a coach. And between his mindset and my mindset and my players' mindset, we went all the way to the championship playoffs and we lost.
Oh, it's okay, but what a victory.
But we got there, and there was more than the coach had anticipated, right? And it's the effect that we also have on each other. That's why it's important to like protect and guard those you spend time with, because the influence that we have on each other energetically.
Amen. I really honestly tell people, and especially people who are closer to me, who I'm walking this journey with, is you protect your peace at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
At all costs, even if it means, forsaking people that somebody might look at you funny if they're forsaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and you have to watch it, guard it.
You do, especially as you're growing it and developing it. You have to safeguard it and protect it. Doesn't mean you have to be cruel or anything, and just like it, but it's just the more you focus here and commit to your own personal growth, then other things just kind of will fall by the wayside. And it's easy to know whether or not it's something you actually want to do. It will answer the question, is this serving the greatest good? Is this in my best interest?
It's
And
true.
If no, then you just send it off with love that, no, I'm sorry, I can't make it, or I can't go out, or, but with love rather than guilt of, oh, I'm such a bad person, or they're going to hate me. Don't say things like that to yourself. Just,
Yeah, no, it's true. It kind of, what is coming to my mind right now is how last year I had planned a garden, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to get, but when I went to the store, I found stuff that I thought I would like, and I planted without giving it enough thought about how it was going to expand. On one side, I have two sides of the garden, like a sunnier side and a little like less sun on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And I planted watermelon on the right side of the garden, and it was going to be the space was going to be too small. It's going to be strangled by other things. But I moved it, and it ended up dying. But my whole point is that it wasn't like I didn't intend it properly. And also, when you're planting a garden or you're planting seeds, you when you do seedlings, you cover it with plastic to protect it as it's growing. You don't just put it out into the open, because a bird can come by and peck it. So you have a little protection, and there's a reason for that protection, because it needs to be nurtured in a specific temperature and a specific moisture, and it's, in a safe space that's got enough light. There's certain things that you need to put in place in order for that to root and to grow properly.
Yeah. And even just from the daily elements, if the sun's too harsh or the wind comes in, I mean, it can just tear those little seedlings out, or, and just demolish them. And so it's the same. I think that's such a great analogy, because it's the same thing with your energy, especially as you're growing in this. You've really got to safeguard yourself.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we got some people. Hey, Yasmin, hello from St. Petersburg. And hey, Martez, what's good? Alicia, hey, thank you. This is my friend Leilani. We're going to say goodbye, but this has been such a joy, and we would love to be able to serve you further. If you go over to aliciahelps.com, you can, oh boy, let's see. I'm going to shut this up. You can leave your information, and we will get back to you with what our next program is. We're so excited to be able to offer this to you. So we will see you soon. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Bye. Thanks, Leilani.
You're welcome.
I should be doing my outro music. Hold on. Let's see, because it's so fun. Dan made this music, and I helped him edit it just a little bit. Where'd it go? Come on, where'd it go? It's gone. Oh, here it is. I found it. All right. Bye, guys.